Namaskar, and welcome to the 16th edition of the Jaipur Literature Festival, protected by Dettol, Banega Swasth India at the Darbar Hall. We are delighted to introduce the Read campaign launched by HarperCollins. Our first speaker is Ananth Padmanabhan, who is the Chief Executive Officer of HarperCollins India. He has spent over 3 decades in bookselling and publishing, and is also the co-chair of the publishing committee within the FICCI. He has also served on the executive committee of the Association of Publishers in India. He is actively involved in policymaking that enables a level playing field for Indian publishing, championing inclusion and diversity, protecting authors against copyright and territorial infringement, and fighting digital and print piracy in the market.
Thank you very, very much. She said chief executive, but I'm going to say let's say I'm the chief bookseller at HarperCollins. It is heartwarming to see such an overwhelming response and attendance at a session titled Read. But that shouldn't come as a surprise because we are at the OG of all literature festivals. We thought we'll make it a surprise right at the end, but I'm going to start. We can't talk about books, we can't talk about reading without talking about a legend, about a magician of words, a poet, a film writer, a movie maker, a friend of books, and most of all, a wonderful human being. Welcome, Gulzar Saab. Gulzar Saab has been a leading light at HarperCollins and a dear friend, and it's always wonderful to go see him in Bombay. Thank you so much for being here, Gulzar Saab. I want to begin by thanking Teamwork and JLF, Namita Gokhale, whom we publish, William Dalrymple, who also we publish, and Sanjoy Roy, who we one day hope to publish, for creating this humongous stage for authors and their books, and more importantly, for the power of words and the joy of reading. I am a child of literature. I grew up in a house who owned a lending library. And as a child, we were told very clearly that we had to borrow 5 books every week and had to finish them before we borrowed 5 more. The luxury of pocket money was meant to be spent only on books. So when I first went out to work, my first port of call was a bookshop. There is no greater joy to my mind than making new books. And now that I have a job in publishing, reading books, and it's a habit that changed my life and changed the life of many others I know. We are celebrating our 30th anniversary at HarperCollins. We believe in telling the best stories and in finding the widest possible readership for those books and entertaining readers around the world. We started publishing 30 years ago in India, and a great deal has changed since then. But what has remained constant is the passion with which our authors write their books, the love with which readers receive them, and the sheer joy and excitement that we as publishers feel being part of the publishing process. Nothing has meant more to us than the fact that millions of people read the books we publish, and somewhere a book of ours might be making a difference to someone. As we step into our 4th decade of publishing, we go back to that one word, the one word that you see on the screen, a word which has been the driving force for all of us these years. India is a land of stories. Stories create books. Stories are timeless. Stories are formless. So all our books, we create our books agnostically, whether it's a paperback, an ebook, an audiobook, a short content text or audio, which you can listen to as chapters, and almost as if it was an OTT experience. But the greatest thing about stories is that irrespective of how you read them, the result is the same. Reading takes us to places where we've never been, and gives us facts and helps us understand the world better. As a child, I remember borrowing a copy of comparative dairy farming between India and Papua New Guinea from the British Council Library. My mother was astonished, saying, "What are you doing with that book?" And I said, "I've never seen more beautiful pictures of cows in any other book." So if there was any reason to borrow a book, that was one. And we have some of the greatest stories in the world. Gulzar Saab is proof that he can traverse form, content, language, medium, and entertain millions of people as he has been doing for the last 80 years. And we have two big books coming, and I think you saw him talk about a poem a day, which is 279 poets in 34 languages for a day. And we have his own collection of collected poems that are being launched very shortly. And it is going to be a timeless, invaluable classic that 4 generations down will still feel as invigorated reading as we feel now. For our 30th anniversary, and that's one of the reasons I'm here, we want to do the following things so that we can push this country. We are the world's largest population today. Already we thought it's going to be in 2025. And our aim is to make India a 300 million leadership country and make it the largest leadership in the world. It's not going to be done alone, but at HarperCollins we are doing the following things. Beginning 1st February, we're going to have the first chapter of all of our new books available for free to read on our blog, Harper Broadcast. So you don't have to worry about whether you're going to like this book or not. At least you'll get a chance to sample it. We are working with audio partner Storytel to put out first chapters of HarperCollins books so that you can listen to them for free. We are partnered with Saksham Foundation, who are doing phenomenal work on creating books for people with print reading disability. I don't know if you know the stat, 15% of India have a print reading disability, and we are creating books in English, maths and science and foundational learning for children so that they are able to read better and use a book that is catered to that format. Our digital platform, Collins Home Learning, has all of our kindergarten content. If you choose, and if you can't afford to go to a school, choose to use that digital platform to teach foundational literacy and numeracy to a young child. And finally, we are going to, of course, be working with booksellers everywhere, participating booksellers, to offer HarperCollins books through the year at very, very attractive discounts. We can't make this a nation of readers or become the world's largest readership alone. We need all of you as readers to participate. And I'll give you an example. If each of you bought 10 books and gave it to 10 of them, and if they in turn gave it to 10 more people, before long, 1 million people would have a book in their hands. And we need a revolution like that to make India the world's largest reading country ever. I'm going to end with a quote that has stayed with me since the time I heard it. If you want to be a great human being, you have to learn. And where will you learn? You learn it through life, and you learn it in books. There really is no other way. So do read a book. I'm going to pass on to my colleague. Thank you, Amish. Hi. Pass on to my colleague, Charlie Redmayne, who's on the global executive of HarperCollins UK and the CEO of HarperCollins. Charlie.
Thank you, Ananth, and thank you, sir, for being here. It is a huge privilege to share a stage with you. First of all, thank you to all of you for so much for giving of your time to attend this launch. I know there are other competing events out there, and if none of them actually piqued your fancy, it's also getting towards cocktail hour, so that could have been on the cards too. My name is Charlie Redmayne. I'm the CEO of HarperCollins in the UK, and I also have the immense privilege of HarperCollins India reporting into me. And that means that I get the genuine excuse to regularly visit this wonderful country and to come here to Jaipur for this amazing festival of books, of reading and of culture every year. And what I love most about JLF is the breadth of subjects being discussed. I was wandering around yesterday morning and I started listening to a discussion on Jacobean England and how it had tried to build relationships with the Mughal Empire before moving on to another one on how tuberculosis was impacting the world, before listening to Merlin Sheldrake talk about fungi and the entangled world of that world. My only sadness of this is that I had to do a very small talk in the bookmark at exactly the same time as my friend Amish Tripathi, so I missed his far more illuminating and much better attended, I have to say, talk, but I'm sure he will fill me in on all the details tonight of how it went. The other thing I love about this festival is the mix of people that it attracts. Indian and international, young, middle-aged and old. And I guess the thing I love most is seeing the kids in their school uniforms wandering around, genuinely excited about the great writers and poets that they're going to be listening to. It is unique to India, I think, that. And it shows me that reading and a love of books is alive and well in India. And this festival, I think, proves it. Reading is hugely important for our societies. It's not a coincidence that the areas of greatest poverty in our countries are also the areas with the lowest levels of literacy. Reading is a stepping stone out of poverty. It gives opportunity, it gives choice, and it is critical that those of us who make our livings in this world also take responsibility for helping to drive literacy. Reading genuinely has the power to change people's lives. Now, at HarperCollins, we've been publishing books for over 200 years in different parts of the world. We were founded initially in the United States in 1817 as Harper Brothers, and another company, Collins, was formed in 1818 in Scotland with a mission to put a Bible into every home in Britain. We've been publishing here in India for the last 30 years, and I'm incredibly proud of the achievements of Ananth and also our exceptional team here in India in all that they have done to continue to do to support authors and to promote reading. And I'm incredibly proud of this brilliant new initiative and all that it will do to aid the growth of reading in this fabulous country. So thank you very much, and I'm now going to hand back to Ananth.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the launch of HarperCollins' very special Read campaign that marks our 30th year in India. And thank you for being in the hottest venue at JLF in terms of internal temperature. Gulzar Sahab, thank you so much. It's a real honor and privilege that you could join us here on this very special occasion.
My pleasure, and thank you for giving me this privilege. It's an honor to be here for.
Sir, it's a very short session, so unfortunately we'll not be able to have you on stage for as long as we would like you to, as we would like. But a couple of questions that I really wanted to ask you, which we have talked about in private several times, but maybe everyone here doesn't know. Tell us about the first book that you read and were inspired by, and that might have inspired you to write the wonderful books of poetry and prose that you have written, all the lyrics that you have written. Hundreds of thousands of people have been inspired by your writings and have loved your writings. Where did it start?
जी, thank you so much. I want to know कि मैं अंग्रेजी भी मेरी ऐसी है और हिंदुस्तानी भी ऐसी है, तो मैं हिंदुस्तानी में बात करूँगा या अंग्रेजी में बात करूँ, तो
Hindustani is absolutely fine, sir.
वो जिस तरह से भी निकली आसानी हुई, I'll keep talking in that language. There may be a mix-up of both, partly English and और शुक्रिया HarperCollins का कि जिन्होंने मुझे ये मौका दिया यहाँ पे बैठने का, और HarperCollins ने मेरी उस ख्वाहिश को पूरा किया, उस आरज़ू को, which is my love for the book. वो किताब से जो एक इश्क था, जो हुआ था, और मैं HarperCollins has been the main source for that they have published all my books in all forms, including the books for children and illustrated, up to the last book which you have seen, which he has mentioned, A Poem a Day, where I translated about 300 poets, 279 to be exact, and 34 languages of my country. And it was a huge task, of course, but then it was HarperCollins who came forward to publish that. So, and that was one of my very ambitious ambitious book. Another very ambitious book, I'll come to the root from where it started. Another book which, there are 2 volumes of Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore's poetry, जो publish की थी मैंने. I mean, that also credit goes to HarperCollins, because I won't get any other publisher to do that, to publish the book in 3 languages, or in 3 forms, I should say. 3 languages, yes. The original Bangla poems of Tagore, along with his own English translation, which I thought is not up to the mark, because in Bangla it says much more than what he says in English. And because he is the author himself and a poet himself, he could change the image, he could change the line, he could edit some lines. So I felt the Bengali poems, you have read it being a Bengali, yes. But original Bengali was much larger and much vaster. But then I think probably he translated with the view to reach it to the West. And then I followed the original Bangla and translated them into Hindustani. So our common language that we speak, which is a mix-up of Hindi and Urdu. And you need guts, a gutsy publisher to publish all the 3 languages in the book. That's where I thought it's a great job done by HarperCollins, and I remain obliged for that kind of thing. Because it's not a normal book to be floated away in the market. Now, my love for the book, or my love for reading, how it started, and let me explain it too. I was in school at that time. Or I'll take over to Hindustani, where it is a little intricate place to explain. हमारे घर के जो हालात थे उनमें ये था, पार्टीशन का टाइम 47, ये था कि refugees का influx of refugees from Pakistan, Punjab, that part of the country, इतने ज्यादा कि हमारे स्कूलों में भी जगह जो मैदान थे या वरांदे थे या बैक हाउसेस या स्टोर रूम्स सब रिफ्यूजीज से भर गए थे, फुटपाथ पर भी, एंड वी वर इन दिल्ली. मेरी ड्यूटी दी गई थी या जो मुझे किया गया था कि मैं रोज खाना खा के रात को स्टोर रूम में जाऊं, जो हमारा एक स्टोर रूम था पास में, और मैं वहीं सोऊंगा, सुबह उठ के आऊंगा, घर पे नहा धो के स्कूल चला जाऊंगा, शाम को फिर वही दुकान पे बैठो ये जाके भागे. उस दौरान में on the footpath refugees had found some kind of a job or the other. किस तरह से काम चलाएंगे वो. एक शरणार्थी, वहां से शरणार्थी ही कहते थे रिफ्यूजीज को, उन्होंने एक लकड़ी का बांकड़ा बनाया हुआ था जिसमें वो न्यूज़पेपर रखने शुरू कर दिए थे. कुछ किताबें पता नहीं कहाँ से जमा करके लाए थे या ली थी या कोई इश्क रहा होगा राइटर्स का. वो हफ्ते में एक किताब देता था 4 आने में. नाउ दैट्स द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट ऑफ इट कि 4 आने में तुम जो किताब चाहो पढ़ लो, 4 आने एक हफ्ता, अगले हफ्ते फिर 4 आने देने पड़ेंगे. तो और मैं 4 आने किसी तरह उसको देख के लाता था किताब, और जासूसी नावल और इस तरह के जो थे ना, इस तरह की किताबें, वो रात की रात खत्म करके मैं अगले दिन वापस करके उसको वापस दे दिया और दूसरी किताब दो. अब कुछ हफ्ते तो ये चलता रहा. अब तो एक दिन वो सरदार जी थे, वो चिढ़ गए मुझसे, कितनी किताबें दूंगा तुम्हें एक हफ्ते में, 4 आने में कितनी किताबें लाएगा, नहीं है और किताब मेरे पास। तो मैं कहा कोई गलत बात नहीं की मैंने। चलो उन्होंने ऊपर के खाने में हाथ लगाया, जो कम जाती थी किताबें, उनमें से किताब उठा के दी, ये लो ये ले जाओ और पढ़ो, और दूसरी नहीं, मैं लेके आ गया। That happened to be The Gardener by Rabindranath Tagore, its Urdu translation. And वो किताब कहीं बस मुझे छू गई, और वो नज़्में छू गई। उसकी पहली पोएम जो गार्डनर नाम से, जो माली नाम था उसका, और उसके बाद मैं 2 दिन 3 दिन उसके बाद गया, फिर तो कोई और, मैं कहा वो जरा रह गई यार बीच में एक किताब कोई और दे दो, तो 2-3 दिन के बाद गया था तो उस दुकानदार ने एक और दे दी, और मैं उनसे किताबें लाता रहा। वो जो उसका टाइटल था उस तरह की दूसरी किताबें, और वो हफ्ता बाद, लेकिन दैट्स द फर्स्ट बुक विच आई स्टोल, जिसको मैंने चोरी किया जब तक वो आदमी भूल नहीं गया। उस किताब से, उस चुराई हुई किताब से, वो मेरी पहली चोरी किताब की, जहां से मेरा सिलेक्शन ऑफ किताब बुक्स चेंज, माय रीडिंग हैबिट चेंज, रीडिंग सिलेक्शन चेंज। और उस दौरान में, उसके बाद मैंने टैगोर, शरचंद्र, बंकिम चटर्जी, प्रेमचंद, इस तरह की किताबें पढ़नी शुरू की, और वो जो उसमें जिस तरह की जिंदगी से जुड़ी हुई बातें थी, that put me in love with the book. Thereafter, I would pick up a book for any time, for anywhere which I would like to, and carry it with me. That's my first.
What a wonderful story, sir. Thank you for sharing
I
it
hope
with
I could
us.
explain it.
And you know, what a journey with books. It's lasted for over 8 decades. And we will hope that you all have a similar journey with books and with reading. We have very little time, so I will not continue the conversation further. We have some of our most eminent authors present here. May I please call on stage Mrs. Sudha Murthy. Mr. Amish Tripathi, are you here? Mr. Dulat, sir, please. May I also call back on stage Mr. Charlie Redmayne, Ananth Padmanabhan.
That is our tradition.
Give me your hand.
That is the tradition in the South India.
No, please don't do this. Thank you. Namaskar.
This makes for a selfie moment. Gulzar Sahab hates selfies, but we will impose on him anyway. So,
We would like to thank the speakers for that lovely session. Do we have time for Gulzar Sahab to read one poem? Please say yes.
Sir. This is a very well-known poem by Gulzar Sahib. It's called Kitabe, and we thought it is perfect for this minute.
माफ़ी चाहता हूँ, मैं वहाँ ज़रा सी दिक्कत होने लग गई है मुझे कि माइक भी पकड़ूं, कागज़ भी पकड़ूं और फिर बोलूं भी, और ते पंजाबी च कमां ते बहुत सारे काम एक साथ नहीं होंगे मेरे को, है ना। वो प्लेट भी संभालो, कप भी और सॉसर भी, इसलिए चाय में ग्लास में पीना ज़्यादा आसान है। मैं यहाँ चला आया, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। अब कर लीजिए तो ख़त्म कर लीजिए, बस अब हट जाइए। अब रिकॉर्डिंग वगैरह हो रही है, मिल जाएगी, आपको पहुंच जाएगी। ये एक नज़्म सुनाने के लिए मुझे कहा गया, जो आपने शायद पहले सुनी भी हो मुझसे। इसका नाम है किताबें। वो जो मसला है, जो प्रॉब्लम है कि because of the new system and digital medium and everything, the printed word is going back or going down, कि छपाई बंद हो गई है, किताबों में शायद नहीं होगी। तो इसीलिए कह रहा हूँ कि आप रिकॉर्ड मत कीजिए, सुनिए और किताब लीजिए और किताब ही लेके पढ़िए। किताबें झांकती हैं बंद अलमारी के शीशों से, बड़ी हसरत से तकती हैं, महीनों अब मुलाकातें नहीं होती, क्योंकि सब कुछ तो आप देखने लग गए हैं उस पे। किताबें झांकती हैं बंद अलमारी के शीशों से, बड़ी हसरत से तकती हैं, महीनों अब मुलाकातें नहीं होती। जो शामें उनकी सोहबत में कटा करती थीं, अब अक्सर गुजर जाती हैं कंप्यूटर के पर्दों पर। जो शामें उनकी सोहबत में कटा करती थीं, अब अक्सर गुजर जाती हैं कंप्यूटर के पर्दों पर। बड़ी बेचैन रहती हैं किताबें, उन्हें अब नींद में चलने की आदत हो गई है। बड़ी बेचैन रहती हैं किताबें, उन्हें अब नींद में चलने की आदत हो गई है। बड़ी हसरत से तकती हैं, जो कदरें वो सुनाती थीं, जो वैल्यूज कदरें, जो कदरें वो सुनाती थीं कि जिनके सेल कभी मरते नहीं थे, वो कदरें अब नजर आती नहीं घर में। वो कदरें अब नजर आती नहीं घर में। जो रिश्ते वो सुनाती थीं, वो सारे उधड़े उधड़े हैं। जो रिश्ते वो सुनाती थीं, वो सारे उधड़े उधड़े हैं। कोई सफा पलटता हूं तो एक सिसकी निकलती है। कई लफ्जों के मानी गिर पड़े हैं, कई लफ्जों के मानी गिर पड़े हैं कि जिन पर हम कोई मानी नहीं उगते। बहुत सी इस्तिलाहें हैं, बहुत से इडियम्स हैं, बहुत से प्रोवर्ब्स हैं, जो मिट्टी के सकोरों की तरह ग्लासों ने उन्हें मतरूक कर डाला। When the glasses came in, तो वो मिट्टी के सकोरे जिनमें पिया करते थे, वो हट गए, क्योंकि धो लो और फिर इस्तेमाल कर लो, आप फेंक नहीं सकते। ज़बान पर जायका आता था जो सफ़ा पलटने का, वो जो पेज पलटने का एक टेस्ट आता था मुंह पर। ज़बान पर जायका आता था जो सफ़ा पलटने का, अब उंगली क्लिक करने से बस एक झपकी गुजरती है। बहुत कुछ तय बतय खुलता चला जाता है पर्दे पर। किताबों से जो जाती राब्ता था, एक ताल्लुक था, किताबों से जो जाती राब्ता था, कट गया है। कभी सीने पे रख के लेट जाते थे, कभी गोदी में लेते थे, کبھی گھٹنوں کو اپنے رحل کی صورت بنا کر گھٹنوں کو یوں رکھنا، اور رحل کہتے ہیں اس ووڈن اسٹرکچر جس کے اوپر ہولی بک رکھی جاتی ہے، دیٹس رحل. کبھی کتابوں سے جو ذاتی رابطہ تھا کٹ گیا ہے. کبھی سینے پہ رکھ کے لیٹ جاتے تھے، کبھی گودی میں لیتے تھے، کبھی گھٹنوں کو اپنے رحل کی صورت بنا کر نیم سجدے میں پڑھا کرتے تھے، چھوتے تھے جبیں سے. وہ سارا علم تو ملتا رہے گا آئندہ بھی، مگر وہ جو کتابوں میں ملا کرتے تھے سوکھے پھول اور مہکے ہوئے رکے، جو چٹ رکھ دیتے تھے، چٹس آ جاتی تھیں، وہ سارا علم تو ملتا رہے گا آئندہ بھی، مگر وہ جو کتابوں میں ملا کرتے تھے سوکھے پھول اور مہکے ہوئے رکے، کتابیں مانگنے، گرنے، اٹھانے کے بہانے رشتے بنتے تھے، ان کا کیا ہوگا؟ وہ شاید اب نہیں ہے. بہت بہت شکریہ.
Magical as always.
He is always so magical. Thank you, Gulzar Saab, for being here. And thank you, HarperCollins.